Oh.
Yes! Get in there!
Zinchenko.
Come on, son!
I've never seen him so animated.
That's our ball. Come on, ref! No! No! Is he seen that? It's not possible. He's guessing. He's guessing.
I hope so.
Oh! Please!
Hit it!
Oh!
Oh, God.
You had 100 games for Villa, didn't you, Martin?
I have to apologise for the Villa fans. I had no idea the camera was on me, clearly. It's the perfect goal off the keeper. Chris, it's come off the keeper.
And they have delivered for their manager today. Let's hear now from Mikel Arteta with Becky Ives.
Mikel, congratulations. Was that just a lesson from your team in never giving up?
Absolutely, we showed a lot of character, resilience to get back twice on the game and end up winning it. And we have to take some lessons from today, because especially in the first half, we didn't do all the simple things right. And then you give them the chance to score those 2 goals in a really simple way. But we talked at half-time. If we start to do everywhere what they have to do, we're going to win this game. And they went out, which is difficult, and win it.
Well, you spoke there. You went behind after 5 minutes, which clearly wasn't in the game plan. What didn't quite work in that 5 minutes?
Well, the way obviously we give the ball when we are completely open and leaving that left channel to Watkins 1-against-1. We knew that was a big concern. He's got this quality to do that, and they took. I think they had 2 shots and they scored 2 goals. So credit to them for that. But in the second half, I think we overplayed them. I think we create chance after chance. We dominated absolutely the game, and we needed a magic moment, and Jorginho produced it.
Well, it was an incredible goal. Have you ever seen a goal scored like that before?
Especially not from him. He's got many qualities, but probably that's not his biggest strength. But he was so much into the game, and the boys really wanted it, and especially what happened a few days ago. And we are so pleased to win the game.
Zinchenko as well, getting his first Premier League goal. Proud of him?
Yeah, it took him too long, so he's been practicing on that, and I'm so happy for him, because obviously he had a difficult action in the first goal when he gave the ball away, but he reacted really well.
Do you sometimes find more values in wins like today, where you've had to come from behind twice, than what you do cruising 3-0 winners?
Well, you want to be at the top, you're going to have to win games in many different ways. You're going to have to score goals in the 94th and sometimes play with 10 men and come back results, and to do it, especially against this team in this stadium. A lot of credit to the boys.
And I can imagine the dressing room right now is bouncing. Is it fair to say?
It was absolutely bouncing, because it was a big effort to play less than 72 hours ago after the game that we had, and after the result that obviously morally is touching, but really pleased with the boys.
And now can you use this to just pick up where you left off, forget about the last couple of results and move forward?
It's picked up, look it again, and train really well on Monday. That's what we have to do.
Lovely. Mikel, thank you.
And that is why the Premier League is the best in the world. A dramatic 4-2 win for Arsenal here against Aston Villa to send them back to the top of the table in what could be a massive game in the context of the title race. Peter, how do you sum up that second half?
Oh, it was unbelievable, honestly. It was end to end. At one time you thought Villa might win it. You know, there was a great save from Ramsdale onto the bar, which kept them in it. Got to mention Ramsdale, and then you know, they keep answering the questions that are asked of them. I think a lot of people have been talking about Arsenal's character. Can they sustain this title challenge? And they answered the questions today.
They did. They needed to answer the questions in the second half as well, Martin. They were 2-1 down. Let's have a look at how Alex Zinchenko equalised for them for the second time.
You saw those 2 players being interviewed at the end of the game, and they wanted to get back into that dressing room because they have a feeling for the club and they're champions. They know what it takes, and both their goals have got Arsenal now back into a really good position here. Zinchenko initially, he takes up these really clever positions. I mean, this is him on the edge of the box, and you're thinking, well, where's he going to go next? So he decides just to drift across into this position. Right side.
Be allowed to do it though, Mark.
No, I mean,
how much space he's got.
Villa are looking at him, but nobody really deals with it, and he's thinking, okay, do you know what? I'm just going to hit this near post, and it's a really sweet. Look at the Villa players. Look. They're pointing at him, but nobody's reacting. It really is poor there. There should be somebody on the edge of the box, Joe.
I've never known that. You always have someone there.
You think as a shot comes in, watch who gets there first. Your number one header of the ball, Tyrone Mings, has had to leave his space and be the first one. I think that's a lack of organisation.
Definitely, but he exploits when he sees a hole, a gap. He runs into it, and that is a really important goal for his team.
And they really needed Aaron Ramsdale as well, didn't they, in that second half? He made a couple of really good saves, especially Peter, that one from Leon Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one, wasn't it? I mean, it could go either way, that game. It was really, really end-to-end. But Leon Bailey, as you say, comes on and he was needed to pull out a save. But if you're going to be up there, you need your goalkeeper to perform, and he's been brilliant this season.
So important for them. He's had particularly good performances away from home for them as well.
Massive character, Linz. You know, he gets a hand on it. You don't see it quite clearly from that angle. It's a strong hand near post. Look, that's a match saving. That's as important as the Zinchenko goal or the Jorginho goal. You know, I think he's so important for this team.
I think he's England's number one now.
I think he's.
I really do think he's now getting into that territory. His character. I mean, here he doesn't really panic. You know, he just makes a save there across. You expect him to save that. But I just love the way he is as a team player. He's a real leader. He plays behind two really young central defenders. So in that triangle of three, there's no real experience, but they're growing in maturity every time you watch them. And that today is really important for them. Because as you said, Joe, about healing the team, I'd sooner if they win this game today 4-2 in the manner they did than win a comfortable 3-0. It tells me more about the group and the character, and the goalkeeper's got that in abundance.
There's so much drama in stoppage time as well. Emi Martinez with an own goal to make it 3-2 for Arsenal, but all Jorginho as well in that one.
Yeah, I mean, we watched Martinez doing lots of the game went into a thing, but Jorginho, he just cuts across it, hits it smooth, and then it's bittersweet because Martinez was really riling the Arsenal fans up in front of us, and it comes back off his head. But as it comes, I think the next angle is going to look this one just off his face. It's a horrible way to concede a goal, but the way that Jorginho struck it was
How did you feel about that, Martin? Because I know the time wasting from Martinez was frustrating you.
I thought it was ironic. I seem to have spent a whole hour watching him wasting time. And then for it to come off his head, look, it was a great player for Arsenal, maybe he shouldn't have gone. But look what it means now to the next generation. Look, Jorginho coming in, scoring that goal. So no, it's really ironic that, you know, he should waste that amount of time and then eventually it comes off his head, but that can happen.
And then that goal from Gabriel Martinelli, Peter, was that just the icing on the cake for them, on the cancer?
It was, you know, Martinez has gone up again, and you have to credit Vieira here, you know, coming on, and he didn't panic. I mean, he could have gone for goal there. I know plenty of people that would have done on their left foot, you know, but he plays the pass perfectly through, and Martinelli, a little bit of showboating, celebrates before it goes in, and that was the icing on the cake. But if you come away from this game and you hadn't watched it in 4-2, you'd think Arsenal were comfortable, but they were far from comfortable. This was just the icing on the cake.
Did that decision to take him out of the starting lineup, do you think, pay off for Mikel Arteta today? Because it seemed a bit, the last sort of few games, he has been in need of a break.
And that's why you talk about squads. You know, you talk about players. You need players. You need Trossard. That's a great acquisition. Trossard's come in and played his role today. Martinelli's sat back. He's come on. He's made a difference. You know, then all of a sudden you've got 4 players out attacking 3 with Jesus to come back 5, all on form, all scoring goals, all confident. They've just come back and had an incredible win away from home. It brings the group back together. Title race is back on.
And we all know how important that win was in Arsenal's season by Martin's reactions during that game. He's given me a bit of a headache today, haven't you?
Yes, just passion.
That was Villa legend Martin Keown there.
Very sorry, guys. Very sorry. But
Martin, does that just sum up though how important that victory was today?
I can't tell you. I mean, it would have been so deflating if they'd have, you know, dropped more points again today. So coming back from being behind, the performance, the way that gels, it's going to be a great coach journey, returning back to the training ground, and it reinforces that belief that they can take Man City to task. And City, we know, are quite brilliant. Of course, they're the favourites, but Arsenal now having a real say in who's going to win it.
Yeah.
Did they deserve it today, Arsenal?
Yes, they did, Linz. Like, we spoke to the manager there, Mikel, before the game, and he wanted a response. And so often, like, I've been critical of Arsenal over the last 10, 12 years, where I felt they've had big situations, big opportunities, and they've tripped over themselves, you know, whether it be a question of character, things like that. But today, this team, every time you see them play, they're answering questions. All credit to this team.
Yeah, lots of questions being asked of the Arsenal player.
So exposed. He tried to change it. Yeah. He did it too late, but Arsenal kept it exposed. Zinchenko in that position really tore them to ribbons.
Yeah, Unai Emery, you feel for Villa, first of all, give them a mention. They put up a good fight today. I felt he never quite got to grips with Saka, Emery. I think he was anxious. I think Luca Digne coming, it quelled it a little bit down outside. But Ben White and Saka right in front of us were excellent today. They really tore Aston Villa to ribbons. But, you know, you just feel for Unai Emery as well, because them boys put a hell of a shift in for Villa tonight.
That's a hard one to take. We can hear now from two players who played a massive part in that Arsenal victory. Alexander Zinchenko and Jorginho are with Becky Ives.
Guys, well done. What a dramatic ending that was. Jorginho, could you sum it up?
That's Premier League. That's why it's the best league in the world. It's just beautiful.
Does that feel like a really significant win?
Yeah, of course, very important after the last results we had, and at the start wasn't easy. We were not producing our game, and then we came the half time. We have a talk, a chat, and then we went back to doing the basics, what we need to do, and we could change the game.
Well, yeah, Alexander, you had to come from behind twice. In that first half, was it sticking to the game plan, or was it about changing to find solutions?
I think from this game, I would like to say about two things. First, we took an unbelievable lesson for all of us. That means we just need to believe until the very end that we can achieve everything. Like I said many times already in the past, that this group is such an amazing people. Can achieve everything what they want if we're going to continue in this way, if we're going to keep fighting, keep believing, and also obviously the reaction from all of us in the second half is perfect. I think that's the right way to go for the future games.
In this game, is it really special for you to get your first Arsenal and Premier League goal?
Yeah, obviously I'm so happy to help with my goal, but the most important, we took 3 points. That's always the priority.
And Jorginho, have you ever scored a goal like that, where it's hit the post, hit the keeper's head, and then gone in?
No, the last time I hit the post and went back to the keeper, it didn't go in, so I'm glad today it did.
Look, what will this do for morale? I know you've already said to me you want to be out there celebrating with the team on the pitch.
Thank you. Bye.
Finish this for me. Finish it quickly. But what does it do for morale?
We would like to go in the dressing room as soon as possible, but once again, you know, there is still a lot of games to play, and then we just need to keep going. And we just need to keep fighting and keep believe that we can do everything.
Congratulations.
Thank
Back
you.
at the top of the Premier League. Go, go, go!
Thank you.
The dressing room bouncing, he said. I'm sure the bus will be bouncing all the way back to London as well. Martin, did the performance not even really matter today? They just had to get the win.
Performance always matters, but I think this manager really doesn't quite get enough credit, because he's made some really big calls since he's been in charge. Lots of players come and gone and today bringing the substitutes on, continuing to try and play his football with Zinchenko. We wondered whether he's going to change that slightly. Should he have gone wider to create a 2v1? But no, it was him that in those central positions, and he keeps finding the extra ingredients for his team. He's driving them on, and he's the driving force. He's got that belief, and that will only endorse that now in that journey home back to London.
Absolutely, and Aston